Welcome to another episode of Money with Manny 101. On this episode, we are going to cover 6 things that I am doing now that nobody wants to talk about it, but we're in a recession in 2022. So the gas prices are up, the cost of living has gone up, rent and utilities are up, stocks have crashed, and I'm not just talking about the whole stock market. Yes, I am. I'm talking about the whole stock market, whether it be the S&P 500, Apple, Netflix, single stocks, ETFs, whether it be Vanguard or whatever, high dividend yield futures, all that is crashing. Now, while all that is happening, we still, for some reason, have not gotten a pay raise.
Come on, I'm broke, baby. I ain't got no money.
Which is the definition of inflation. And I bet you next year when you get a pay raise, it'll be at about 3%. And right now, inflation is at about 8-9%. So with that being said, what are we supposed to do in order to maintain and continue to get better even throughout the recession? The best thing that we have to help us learn and to help us be better is history. Let's just start off with what the definition of recession is. Now that we know what recession is, step number 1. I had my wife print out our last 3 months bank statements. So like I always say, you gotta be in the know. So you print out the bank statements and your goal is to just highlight the things that you didn't need to spend on that you spent anyways. And figure out where your money is going, because if you don't know where your money is going, or if you're not telling your money where to go,
why are you running? Why are you running?
You're gonna spend that money anyway. So it's better to separate, whether it be investing, whether it be savings, paying off debt, and whatever else it might be. It is better to know where your money is going. So printing out that bank statement will let you know what you need to do, and then also putting a cap on how much money we spend on random things like going to Chicago or downtown Chicago and figuring out, having fun. Essentially, I would highly recommend, if date night was a paycheck by paycheck thing every week or every other week, I recommend cutting it in half. And so you're still having fun, but you're also cutting back without knowing that you're cutting back. Figure out things to do for free. Go to the parks, go on walks, do things with your family in your backyard, have a barbecue, put more money towards the groceries, have a barbecue in your backyard, things that are gonna lower that spending. Number 2, making sure that your emergency fund is fully funded. I always recommend having 3 to 6 months once you've paid off all the loans that you can. Personally, I haven't paid off my student loans yet, but everything else in terms of loans are paid off. So we have 3 months of emergency fund that includes all of our expenses and all our bills. So I would recommend having that fully funded just in case anything crazy happens, where the recession gets to a point where jobs start firing people.
What's up, man?
What's up?
How you at work?
Got fired yesterday.
For real? I thought you had a day off yesterday.
I did. I went in there to pick up my check, came home, supervisor called me about 4 o'clock. Talking about they got me on videotape stealing boxes.
At least you'll have 3 months of a buffer to find yourself a new job or to make an income or have an income shortage while still surviving. So your emergency fund is fully funded and you know where your money is going. So big step number 3, I would highly recommend that you do not, I repeat, do not stop investing. A recession means the stock market has crashed, which means everything is on sale.
Happy holidays, Rick. And to you, my friend.
This is the best time to go out and buy. This will lower your average cost on single stocks, ETFs, investing for your future, all that. I recommend, if you have a bigger buffer, up whatever you're putting into your retirement account, because all the funds you were buying are now on sale. What you were paying $100 for previously currently are at about $80, whatever it might be. So I highly recommend to continue investing. Obviously, this is number 3 for a reason. You make sure your fully funded emergency fund is in place. You make sure you know where your money is going. And then now with the money remaining, you continue to invest. You continue to do it, and you do it at a higher rate if possible. Number 4 kind of goes with number 1. Now that you know where your spending is going, and now that you have your fully funded emergency fund and you're not stopping investing, this is where you adjust your daily spending. And I'm talking about the daily spending that's going to happen regardless. So your groceries, your gas, your utilities. So adjust that budget to fit what's going on. So the cost of living has gone up, which means that your budget is most likely not accurate anymore. So go back and see where your spending is going. So for example, for me, I drive a Honda Civic as my daily. I get 32.7 miles per gallon, to be exact. Yes, I'm that detailed. I normally used to be able to fill up with $40, but now it is costing me $70 to fill up my tank, and I know that I fill it up 3 times a check. So now I'm going from $120 as my cost for gas per check to essentially paying $210 for just a Honda. And then we also have a Hyundai Palisade for the family car, which used to cost about $70 to $80 to fill up, but now is at about $110 to fill up. So with that being said, we fill that up about 3 times a month. So that goes from spending $210 to spending $300 just to fill up the Palisade and be able to take the family around.
Oh, I'm broke, baby.
Why I reinforce again, cutting down on the spending, making sure you do things at home, less driving, less gas spending, and then also making sure that thermostat, all the dads don't know what I'm talking about, stay away from touching that thermostat.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
A focus on saving more money for those bills and expenses that are going up with the cost of living. Number 5, and very importantly, all 6 steps are important. At this point, all 6 steps are important. But number 5, I will say, keep paying off debt. Just because you're in a recession does not mean the debt stops. You gotta pay those things off. I highly recommend that you continue to tackle it. You might lower the percentage that you're throwing towards the debt. Maybe you're making the minimum payment plus $25 now, which is still a good indent. It's better than just making a minimum payment on anything. But pay off that debt, get that thing off your back, because whether the recession lasts 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years, if you don't pay that debt off, it's still gonna stay there.
What it do, baby? Yeah.
And the faster you pay debt off, the less interest you pay on it. So I highly recommend you focus on that debt, focus on paying that thing off, and don't stop it just because you think it's a recession. Just because cost of living has gone up does not mean you don't owe what you owe anymore. Pay that thing off. Number 6, and most importantly, if you follow the channel, I will say relax and stick to the plan. I'm telling you, relax and stick to the plan. The reason why I say relax and stick to the plan is because it's very easy to stress about everything that's going on. But if you have a plan in place, and your plan is your backbone, and your backbone has a backbone, because the plan is genius. If you're following the channel and you're watching the content and you're watching it all the way through, you know the plan is genius. So relax, stick to the plan. Don't stress yourself out, don't stress your family out. Communicate what's going on, communicate the changes that need to happen. Recessions happen, recessions pass. The beautiful thing about the recession is the fact that once it's over, it's only up from there. That's why I'm saying continue to invest, continue to pay debt, and once that next year comes around and it's time to talk about that pay increase, that promotion, take that seriously. Because you have to know what inflation was the year before. Because if inflation was 8% and they're talking to you and telling you you're going to get a 3% raise, that means you are getting a 5% pay cut. I repeat, if inflation was 8% and you're getting a 3% raise, you are getting a 5% pay cut, because the price of whatever it is that you sell or you work for has gone up that 8%. That's why it's inflation. The market, everything that is being sold, whether it be food, goods, services, has gone up 8% average. Your income should match that or exceed it when it comes to a pay raise. But you also got to make sure your work ethic matches it. So I'm just dropping some dimes here. So just make sure your work ethic matches it. So you can't have minimum effort and get a maximum contract. So if you're putting in maximum effort, you can argue for that maximum contract. So with that being said, thank you for revisiting the channel. Thank you for watching the video through and through. If you've watched it and if you've gotten to this point, I think you owe me a like, you owe me a comment, and you owe me a share. Just because I know I dropped dimes in this video, you know what I mean? I'm getting comfortable in front of the camera again, so I appreciate y'all, and see y'all next video.